A lot of women say I want a husband, but do they think about, do you really want to be a wife? Like, a wife really is a job. Like, you are signing up to put everything second, career and your family, children, or whatever now trumps that.
She thought that they were drinking this. She doesn't know what this is, but she was forced to drink it through her dating show. The gymnastics, man, to avoid the truth and what actually is going on is crazy. What's up, welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Tisha Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
You know, there are not a lot of things that are as satisfying, entertaining as watching someone admit the truth, especially when they originally contradicted the truth. Now, that's happened multiple times to Kendra G as a result of her dating show. We've seen Kendra pretty much everything that she argued about with Kevin Samuels and has now proven that he was right all along. Here's a video that's gone unnoticed. Shout out to the TMI hosted by Tamika and Myson. That's the name of the podcast. In this actual video, they have Kendra G come on the show and they ask her about marriage, right? And one of the questions they had for her was, is there something new that you've learned doing your dating show? And she did not start off by addressing men. She started off by addressing women. And she said she believes that a lot of modern women today, she didn't say modern women, but she believes a lot of women today don't understand what marriage is and what exactly they're asking for when they want marriage. It's a lot of work, which isn't something new. I've said that many times. I'm sure you guys have noticed the same thing. Is a lot of these chicks don't understand the gravity of the situation, which is why when they enter these marriages, they're surprised at how much work actually goes into maintaining these relationships, which ultimately leads to them feeling dissatisfied because what they thought it wasn't what it was. And then here come the divorce papers, right? Or them sabotaging the relationship because they think they deserve better, when the reality is relationships are hard and marriage is hard and something that has to be worked out. No more wasting time. Kendra G, let's get it.
So today we've got a sister on. Man, I've been watching her lives and her show. And just I'm inspired, and then some days I'm not inspired. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be by myself because it just
It just ain't gonna work.
because it's just not gonna work for me. So Kendra G, a TV and radio personality. She was a host on 107.5 in Chicago, but she has since left that job to focus 100% on this new baby that we're going to be talking about so much today, which really kind of gives her the expertise to come and be a part of this Bonding of the Sexes series. Kendra G of Kendra G Singles. That's me. I need to be on the show.
I was going to ask what qualifies Kendra G as an expert, and then they said expert of Kendra G Singles, and I was like, okay, she may be an expert of single women out here and understanding exactly where they're at. The other thing you guys should probably know are the hosts right there. They aren't married. Let's keep listening.
Listen, now, I definitely want to pick up off of when you said find your husband. We're going to talk about that more because I want to know, do you really want to get married?
No, maybe not.
Really?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I think that's what some women should be okay with, because I think a lot of women say I want a husband, but do they think about, do you really want to be a wife? Like, a wife really is a job. Like, you are signing up to put everything second, career and your family, children, or whatever now trumps that. And I'm not a person that feels like you have to be married to be validated. But I think once people accept what they really want, then they'll understand why they keep attracting certain people in their lives. So that's why I said, do you really want to be a wife, girl?
Yeah, I mean, you know what I want?
No, you don't.
And first of all, thank you, Kendra, for joining TMI today.
So
let's go back and start at the beginning. But I would say that yes, I definitely want a husband, but I don't know if I want a husband for the right reasons. And that's something that I'm checking in with. I want a husband because I believe that from my parents' perspective, right? I watch my parents, and my mom had a stroke and now my dad is her caregiver, right? And she had been his caregiver all the way up to the point of her becoming disabled based upon this terrible, terrible health crisis. And I see that, I don't know if this is the right reason, but I see how they have been one another's solid rock. And I feel like as I get older, like what's going to happen to me if I don't have someone there that is like committed to me in that way? That's the thing for me. I don't know anymore about a whole bunch of things, but I do know that you're supposed to have a partner. So I'm trying to figure it out. But anyway, let's get started. Let's go back.
We'll go back to that.
That's a good question. What's going to happen to her if she decides to continue the way she's been going and doesn't find a man? Well, you're going to be by yourself. I saw it for years and years working in assisted living facilities, care homes, plenty of single women by themselves. You're just by yourself dealing with it. And those are the fortunate women, the people who can afford the care. And you might be asking, well, what about the men? Well, men don't have to be told that being a husband is a job. In most cases, they understand that they have to bring something of value to the table. There are a few men out here who expect that they will be taken care of like mothers. But the vast of men understand that a woman's love is closely attached to the value that you provide. Women do not believe in the work that comes from the woman's end, modern women today, to maintain that relationship. Most of them do not. Let's keep listening.
Let's go backwards. Let's talk about your background, because I want people to know that you're not just Kendra G singles. You started somewhere. So let's talk about who you are and how you got started.
Yeah, like I'm a 20-year radio and television veteran. I went to Hampton University, and like you mentioned, I was hosting a morning show in Chicago, and then COVID happened. COVID happened in 2020, and the world was shut down. And this is pre-mask. This is April. The world just got shut down. You can't go into work. Don't touch each other. Don't talk to your neighbor. We're still trying to figure out this pandemic that's going on. So we're really stuck in the house. And at that time, Instagram Live was like the go-to. Everybody was connecting still via Instagram Live. Shout out to D Nice. He had us dancing. So I was like, you know what? I was in a relationship and we literally broke up in the pandemic. And then I became like single. And because single and pandemic, I always equated to Will Smith, I Am Legend. It was like I had a dog, and that's literally, I can only be with my dog. And I was like, this is a lonely life. Let me go on live and see if I can hook up other single people that might feel like me. And literally
the pandemic broke up so many relationships, man. A lot of people were splitting up during the pandemic because now you couldn't run away from that person, right? Let's keep listening.
One night, it wasn't even the show. I didn't have this master plan. I was like, I'm just gonna go live and connect with other single people and give them a shot. But I knew the first night I would change my life forever, because it had everything in the making to have a successful show. It had, first of all, I come from media. It was regular people. It wasn't it's not a celebrity-based show, which was great for me. Because you guys know, sometimes it's hard to get celebrities to do interviews. Now celebrities don't got to do interviews. They just go to their Instagram page and talk. So I love that it was regular people. I love that the audience was engaged. Either you can watch a person and like them and DM them, or you can leave a comment about what you thought, right? And then you could just be yourself, and it was a chance for love. And now we just celebrated 4 years. Like I said, last year, I decided to quit my job. I live in Beverly Hills, California now.
Okay,
and the dating app is out. It's gonna be, we're beta testing the dating app, Kendra G Singles. And May 7th, it will be available on my birthday to the world. Right now,
you're a Taurus. Okay, you're a Taurus.
Sounds like Kendra's got some things in the work. A dating app.
We're trying, with Taurus. Trying to take out Tinder one day.
Congratulations to her for being innovative on the business front of that. Overall, from one entrepreneur to the other. Shout out to that.
Okay. You got big goals.
Yeah.
Big goals. Yeah.
So what have you, like, has doing this show changed your perspective on relationships? Tell me something that you thought before that changed your perspective now.
A lot of women want the same type of guy. And it doesn't matter what kind of woman she is, whether she's in shape, not in shape, educated, not educated. She wants Idris Elba. She wants the tall, dark-skinned man that has good money, is going to provide for her and love her, be faithful, never see another woman a day of her life, give her good sex when she wants to have good sex, work a lot, but don't work so much because I need you to go with me to church every Sunday, be home at night, pay all the bills, and yeah, that's what she wants.
But you didn't think that before? Before you thought that people wanted a more diverse partner?
Well, to me, this is why it's kind of
no. Before she thought that people were in their right minds and were realistic. She thought that they were drinking this. She doesn't know what this is, but she was forced to drink it through her dating show. The gymnastics, man, to avoid the truth and what actually is going on is crazy.
Like you know, what I also learned is my average life is a 1% life, right? So for me, outside looking in, I didn't think it was far-fetched because I live in a world of successful Black men, right? And attractive. They don't always want to get married, but that's my common world. What I didn't realize is that people who don't even live in that common world, they still want that man. So what's happening is like a lot of women are negating their options. The real life option is the option in your face. So when you go to the grocery store, when you go to church, when you go wherever you're going in your life, whoever that man is, whoever that woman is, that is your real life option. The internet has all made us connected. Right now, you guys are in New York, I'm in LA, so we're all connected via the internet. But for relationships, that can only last for so long. You know, if you want a real relationship, right? So are you going to move to this place? Can you make it in that new city if you do move for love? Like, how far are you willing to go? So I think right now people just want a fantasy instead of reality.
And I say that all the time.
People, you guys notice the words that she's avoiding to use here is modern women. She doesn't want to serve him that coffee. No,
I'll have a tea actually.
You guys listening to this? Crazy.
I say that, especially when I look at relationships. You know, one of my theories is that people are in love with the fantasy of a relationship and not the reality of the relationship, because they have this, you know, this ideology of what it's supposed to look like. My relationship is supposed to be like this. My man's supposed to be this way. He's supposed to look this way. He's supposed to go here. He's supposed to listen to what I say. He's supposed to always make me happy. He's supposed to, and then when the reality of the relationship happens and none of that is going right, nobody really wants the reality that comes with relationships. It's days you wake up, you don't want to talk. It's days he don't feel like talking. You got to see somebody. You got to deal with somebody at their best, at their worst. You got to, all of these things. And then the reality of it starts kicking in. And then you look in and you like, I don't even know if I want to do this because this ain't what it was in my head. This relationship that was in my head is not the relationship that I'm in. And I see that happen with a lot of different relationships with people, you know?
Yeah, but then when you said if none of it, when none of those things are working, and it's kind of like if none of it is working, then that might not be your person. Like there should be some
none
good
of the things
parts.
are working. I'm saying when I think the reality of it is the fantasy of those things, right? The fantasy of, you know, we gonna always.
Now we're seeing why that host there isn't married. We're seeing it right there just for everybody to see.
Be happy, everything's gonna be good. This like you the only person the man's ever gonna look at. All of these things, and when those little things start happening, it triggers a reality that people don't want to deal with.
She can't wait to get her taken
in relationships.
What you think about that, Kendra?
Oh, absolutely. See, what happens is on Instagram, most happy couples post their happy times, as they should, right? But it unfortunately sometimes it gives the illusion. Like when you go to when back in the day when you go by a picture frame and you see this beautiful family, right? They're smiling, cheesing. You don't know what happened. You don't know if he lost his job one time and then the wife had to take over and hold down the family. And this is why he loves her so much, because she proved that when he had nothing, she would be there. We don't know if he has an outside baby and the wife just decided, I'm going to love him through it all and still say married. All you see is the Hallmark card and you say, I want that, but you don't have the details. And that's really the confusion. I always tell people on my show, get married mentors. Talk to people who are married, because a lot of married people don't come online and always give all the bad because they're going to be judged, right? Like a woman comes up there, yes, he cheated on me and he has 2 outside kids, but I'm going to stay with him because I love him and it's deeper than that. And I found a way to forgive my husband. She'll be attacked all day.
This is true. This is true. Or they're just not on social media like that. And that is true. A lot of women out here who have forgiven infidelity, and even some men, who have forgiven infidelity. And the main point here isn't whether you should forgive or not forgive. The main point is, for a lot of people, they're in love with the fantasy of what relationships are like. That's what they're in love with. And they should accept the fact that that's not reality and are probably better off single. Because if you give a woman a real relationship who believes that you as a man may never check a woman out or maybe even possibly cheat, then she'll be in for a rude awakening. You have to understand that anything's possible. And the reality is that it takes a lot of work and dedication. Keep listening.
You're dumb. Why'd you stay with him? So she's never going to tell you that story on Instagram. And I don't think she should. But if you really want marriage, if you really want love, find some real life couples. And offline, they will give you the real. I know so many real stories. And that's why I think that I'm more enlightened, because I have friends that are married or in relationships, and I know the things that they have gone through.
Wait, how is Kendra G more enlightened? And this is where Kendra really has the opportunity to redeem herself as far as like real respect for what she does. Is she wasn't enlightened about a lot of this stuff. She actually spoke against a lot of this stuff. This is the same woman who argued all these different points in the interview that she had with Kevin Samuels.
It looks great. Their family looks great. But I know the trials that they went through to get there. And something you said, Maishan, that when you said they want the good times, but they don't want the bad times. They want you to have the money, always pay all the bills. They don't think about the scenario that you mentioned, Tamika, about your parents, about how now there's health conditions, right? And someone's taking care of the other. That's what really matters in the end. Like when you're in your 20s, okay, if you want a guy in the club, okay, I get it. But your VIP section, 40s and up, is in your house. Who do you want to be in the VIP section in your house when you're 50? That's who you should start looking for your partner. Now, also, we're dealing in a situation where there's so many women doing well. Like, this is a situation where, like, a lot of women, like, you could go on, I say this all the time, women could become a millionaire by selling lashes, right? So now she got money. Logically speaking, I understand this woman wants a man that's either her financial equal or more, right? So now she only wants a man that makes more than her, or at least the same. But does that guy want you back? And does he want you back in the way that you want him? So then what do you do if that guy that you want doesn't want you back? Do you accept nothing? Or do you just keep going and saying, I'm not going to settle because this is what I deserve?
The part she's missing here is why. Why doesn't that guy want you back? It's because you've gotten older and your value when it comes to the dating market is as a woman, closely aligned to your youth.
Well, so, I'm just thinking about the framing of this series that we're covering. And we really are trying to look at Black folks and figure out, all the different working pieces, not just in intimate relationships, but just how we're relating to one another in general. And as I was saying, when we opened the show, I feel like the internet and media in general is painting this picture of us as just being incompatible. Like, you got to either be, or at least look at the previous models or older models. And it's like, we need something new. Right. And maybe that's true. So polygamy has become a big topic now. And a lot of that is not just because people want to have sex with multiple women or men. Some of it has to do with the numbers, the clear numbers that there are not enough men, especially successful men that are able to financially provide for women and for Black women. And therefore, it becomes sort of one of the options is to bring multiple households together.
False statistic. False statistic. Women have always outnumbered men. And this idea, I don't know why people do this, man. I'll never understand. Lack of compatibility is not just in the Black community. Feminism has done irreparable damage in the white communities, Latino communities, other communities as well. This is not some special thing happening within Black people. No. There are plenty of men out here who are qualified enough for you to partner with, start a relationship with, if you're willing to do the work. Now, if you want to be some millionaire couple and both earning multiple six figures, well, now you're making your chances very slim of being able to find someone like that.
And bring all of your resources under one umbrella. And of course, there's that one man. And I think also as people are beginning to walk more in their truth, that, you know, they're not on the down low as much as they used to. So now if you are a member of the LGBTQIA community and you're being honest and forthcoming.
Now she can't find a husband because men are gay. Anything but a closer look in the mirror.
About that, then that puts you in a different pool. So now a woman who's looking for a cisgender male, she can't find it in that person anymore. So now the pool it has shrunk, right? So with again polygamy, then you've got women who are saying, I got to date outside of my race. I now have to go to white men or other.
Stop it. Most women want a Black man. Most Black women want a Black man.
Cultures to find a husband, again, someone who's a good provider, someone that. So I'm wondering from your perspective, is it the internet that's showing us that, or is it just the reality of what we're really dealing with?
So the internet is the gift and a curse, because the gift is it connects us all, right? But you got to realize reality is individual for each person. So when a woman comes on the internet and says, you know, you have to make at least 100K to date me, and her world is probably around 100K men. We know now that's not the average salary. So the man that can talk to her via the comment section is offended. And he's like, you're never going to get that guy because you're indirectly insulting him, right? Because he doesn't make 100K. When a guy says, oh, you got to be fit and feminine to be with me, let's say a woman's not fit and feminine. Now she's offended. So now she's in the comment section saying, you're never going to get that either. So what's happening is we're colliding different realities online. People you probably never talked to in real life because they're not in your real life, but you can have an online discussion. And that is where the debate is getting heavy. I think it's a lot of people that are unhappy. And you mentioned it earlier, men have more options as in quantity. There's a lot of women who want to be in a relationship. Now, women have options, but there's not a whole bunch of options of the same type of guy they want. So there's men out there, but are they all over 6 feet? Do they all make over six figures? You know, do you find them all sexually attractive? So that's when the pool for women gets smaller, because out of the 1,000 men, they probably really want 10. But all 10,000 women want the 10.
That
guy, he now knows that. He knows the guy that is 6 feet, makes a lot of money and attractive. He knows he is desired. So when you mentioned polygamy earlier, that was something also a viewpoint that changed for me. I believe in just being honest, whatever you desire. I have met women who said they want a polygamous relationship. It's not always men looking for it. Women look for it too. And just like I accept, you know, gay relationships, I accept that. That's what you desire, right?
Keep in mind, guys, if you notice at all these solutions of polygamy and whatnot, who does that benefit at the end of the day? Men. It'll be the men at the top. at the end of the day who will benefit from that. And someone could make an argument right now and say there are men and women in polygamous relationships, one man with multiple women, based on just how women today value a man's status and actually believe that they qualify for that man and are getting played in that rotation because he's sleeping with multiple women who think they qualify at a chance with him. They honestly believe it. And by the time they figure it out, he's already gotten what he wanted.
But you got to be honest with yourself and then living your truth.
Mm-hmm. Living your truth. Do you think that how much of a role do you think sex plays in like what we as women are looking for? Are we the ones that are more invested in that, or is it kind of like, I want it, but I'm not so worried, and it's more men who want to make sure that the person is sexually compatible?
Well, I think this is why I say talk to married folks, right? When you get older, I think sex is still important, but a lot of 50-year-olds and they're not having sex like, when you're 20s and your 30s, right? So we don't talk about that enough. And I think that's a really good conversation. I think attraction is important on both roles. Mm-hmm. Men want someone that looks good and a woman wants someone that looks good. So that's very important. But I think sex is I want to bring up Sprinkle real quick. She has a movement going on.
All right, that's where we're gonna have. That's enough. Enough. Listen, these grown women are over here discussing sex like it's a key ingredient for a successful relationship. I'm not saying that sex is not important, but the truth is, most people put too much value on sex. After you've figured out the initial attraction with somebody, that's enough for you to now look at other things that may qualify that person for you to entertain a long-term relationship with them. Because the reality of marriage is that sex won't always be the best in every part of that marriage. Just like you won't always feel in love. Sex, as you grow in compatibility with your partner, becomes the byproduct of how close you are with your partner. You sharing the same common values, you guys being able to communicate and work through situations in a healthy way, you guys growing together versus growing apart. And just another thing that I think people put too much worry on when it comes to a lot of these relationships. Let's check out some comments here, see what people have to say. First comment here says, funny, I swore Kevin Samuels tried to tell her that. 34 likes. Somebody else here says, this shows that Kevin was right all along. She's admitting this without mentioning him. Of course, that would require some coffee. And of course, we know how that goes. Somebody else here says, damn. With laughing emojis here, somebody else says, she'll say everything except Kevin Samuels was right. Another comment here says, why she doesn't tell them this on her show? That's a good question. Why didn't she say this stuff on her show? Somebody else here added, your best options are the ones that are right in front of you, which is why a lot of women would do whatever it takes to get into better sounding, to get in front of better type of dudes. Okay. Somebody else here says, first time I heard her tell the truth. Oh, and RIP Kevin Samuels. Somebody else here says, it's funny how she lived in the world of successful black men, but is still not married. Now, I don't know if she's like hiding a marriage, but I assume that if she was married, she would say that she is married. But yes, that's a good point. In the world of successful black men, but not married or not confirmed to be married. Somebody else here added, I'm working on getting bears computer literate so they can start getting on these dating sites. That's funny. Somebody else here says, bro, Kevin Samuels tried to tell her, she wouldn't listen. Now she sees what he was talking about. Somebody else here added, they don't want option in their environment though, because they believe they deserve better. We've got a female commenter here who says, no, they're not. Modern women today are looking for sponsors, not spouses. I'm fortunate, blessed to have been married for 27 years. This is a marvel. Listen, as always, I'm curious to know, what do you guys think? Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you so much for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pod. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.